Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we are going to take a look at our friend Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, but also we're going to take a look at a few things. One of the things we're going to look at is how can you have your character transform in DC Universe Online. It's a comment that I see coming back from time to time. Like people want their characters to be able to transform, and it's a comment that's been coming back, especially right now, thanks to the power auras that we have. Because one complaint that some people have is that if you, let's say like right now we have the fire aura on our friend Johnny Storm. Some people see that as an issue because they want to be able to transform. Like they don't want the aura to always be on, as you can see right now. They want the aura to only activate when they're using their power or something like that. Which is a bit silly, I think, especially in the case of the fire aura, because with the fire power, there are some powers in the fire power that as soon as you use your power, then your character catches on fire. So if really that's only what you want, you don't really need an aura. All you need is to activate your fire power. But here, I'm going to show you an example of how you can actually have your character transform if you really want to. Oh, my cat is getting crazy. It happens. So let's take a quick look at how you can have your character activate his power if you want to. So let's say you decide to only have your aura when you activate your power, or when you get into combat. What you could do is just a little bit before going to, usually you could have, let's say your character look like that, where you don't see the fire aura. And then just before you go into combat, you decide to go flame on. And you have your characters try to activate his fire aura, and then you get into battle, and then you use your fire powers and all that good stuff. So that would be, I guess, the easy way to be able to do that. The thing is, in order to be able to do that, obviously you need two armories. You need one armory for your character when he doesn't have the fire at all, and then you need a second armory, obviously, with the character that has the actual flame on your character. But a lot of people don't like that option because sadly that means having at least two armories. And if you want to go crazy, now let's go back to no flame. And if you want to go even more crazy than that, another thing that you can even decide to do is to go one step further and have not only just the character, not yet, and you can have the character not only just activate his aura, but have the full fire effect that the character has, usually in the comics. So as you can see, you can recreate a pretty darn good version of the Human Torch in this universe online. So whether you decide to create the character with no flame at all, when you activate the fire power, your character will be on fire. So that would be one option. Sadly, this character obviously is not using the fire power, so I wouldn't be able to show you. But the one thing you could do is that as your character activates his power, it would turn into a Human Torch. It would turn into fire. But if somehow that's not enough, then yeah, you can have your aura with the flame. So again, you could go flame on, and then jump into battle and have your fire aura, and use your fire power to have even extra fire to your character. Or again, you could go all the way and truly turn into what the character looks like within the comic once he activates his power. Again, if you do that during battle, obviously you're not going to be able to switch back and forth as much as you like, but outside of battle, you can pretty much switch between armories as you wish. So again, if you're before the battle actually starts, you could have your character be like that. And just before the battle starts, or even as the battle starts, once your cooldown is expired, then you could decide to go flame on and turn into the awesome Human Torch. There's a few variations also that you can recreate. At some point in the 70s, they tried to make the Fantastic Four somewhat distinctive from each other. So they modified the costumes a little bit. Although Reed and Sue pretty much had more or less the same costume. At some point, they added like a skirt to Sue's costume, but that only lasted like a couple of issues at best. But at some point, they gave a yellow and red costume to the Human Torch to kind of match his costume a bit with his powers. So they gave a more personal touch to the costume of the Human Torch as opposed to the rest of the team. And at some point in the early mid 80s, the legendary John Byrne decided to give a new costume to the Fantastic Four. It was pretty much what was known as the negative costume, or negative version of their costume. Basically, anything that used to be black became white on the costume. And that, I have to admit, usually characters, whenever they get a new costume, when characters had a classic costume for quite some time and they get a new costume, usually those new costumes don't last very long and they quickly go back to their traditional costume. I have to admit that this version of the Fantastic Four costume lasted, at the very least, a decade, I think, maybe even a bit more. But sooner or later, what had to happen happened, and they came back. They went back to the classic Fantastic Four costume, which is classic for a reason. There's a reason why that costume was able to endure the test of time, unlike some of the other versions of the costume. But as you saw, pretty much all the versions of the Human Torch looks really nice with the firepower. Oh, our friend Crypto is going crazy. So all the version of the costume look really nice with the fire aura. So if you ever wanted to create the Human Torch, now you have no more excuses. You can do that if you want to. And if you're wondering how I can get the character to look like that, basically I'm using the glowing skin aura and I'm putting it some tint of orange. And again, holy crap, does it look good with the fire. So again, if you've been meaning to create a Human Torch, now you have no more excuses. You have the power to be able to do so. You have the aura to be able to do so. And you even have the skin and or the costume in order to be able to do so. I have to admit, if I didn't have so many characters already, I would create myself a new Human Torch character, because that's how awesome I think this looks, especially with the new fire aura. I'm trying to come up with a new character that will be using fire so that he can use the fire aura. Right now, the lead character that I'm thinking of creating is Dark Phoenix. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I guess I'm gonna have to give it some thoughts. So this is only one of the many videos that I have in mind to talk about the fire powers. Actually, I have a few other powers I want to talk about, but the fire one has quite a few options that I could go into. Also, tomorrow, March 29th, or actually today, I just realized that we're past midnight. Today, March 29th, the game sadly will be down for about 6 hours. So if you don't see a new video from me later today, that's probably going to be why. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So if you have any questions, as always, ask in the comment section down below and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. And other than that, as always, guys, thanks for watching. And hopefully, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.